Actual recording is higher quality. All right, does that mean I'll be higher quality? Like, will AI do something for me?
Nothing that can make you higher quality.
Wow.
Your spine here is pure gold. The words that flow out of your mouth matter like a fresh mountain spring that God Himself has produced, and it is just like wisdom pouring out of that stream. And those that are watching should be gathering this and taping it, filling up their vessels
Bring
with
your
the
vessel.
knowledge that
Yep.
flows from your mouth.
Wisdom flows from my mouth like water.
What are we talking about today, Matt?
Well, we have a great show on the SoPro Bros Podcast. We're going to be talking about our international projects today. I think this is a great opportunity. We won't bore anyone that already heard that and turned us off. We'll give some high level details of what we have going. We do enough, obviously locally, and we post enough about that, and we love what we do. But we have crossed some international waters, haven't we? What do we got going south of the border?
Yeah, so I think that's something, there's a lot of people that invest here locally or in any area of the country that you're in, and you might find that person that will invest throughout different states of the country, right? But we never did that. We stayed in our local area and then we just bounced directly internationally. So Matt, you've been doing your thing, and while you're doing your thing, I'm kind of starting my thing. And that's the power of us together, but individually in that way. But I've been going to Mexico here for the last 2 years and really focusing down in on that market. And as our viewers know, just from our social media content, um, I am working in Playa del Carmen and teamed up with a brokerage there and doing just what we do here and doing it there. A little bit different in the sense of actually developing and building, just like Matt, you are over in the Maldives. So excited to be able to bring our skill sets and the things that we do and know how, and do them in vacation destinations.
If you've listened to us enough, I live in South Asia Islands in Maldives, number one travel destination in the world. It is in the Maldives with the resorts, but we're tapping into a market with a guest house, which is a tourist hotel. We have a 36 room guest house being built, and actually coming up this weekend, we have our third slab being poured. So we are actually up on the top of the palm trees right now, looking over the water, the Indian Ocean, and it is spectacular. So we'll throw some pictures up too, just to show progress, because you got a bunch of your own.
The guys down there have a drone as well, so they're able to get great footage and send that over to me as they progress each and every time as we're getting higher and higher. A little bit different in that particular project, building methods than what you're doing, but ultimately all the same. So excited for that. So it is nice to be able to see that live footage any day. I can log in and see exactly who is there, what they're doing, and what they're progressing on.
So let's get to a question everyone should have in their mind, or they probably do. That how in the world do you jump from flipping houses to then all of a sudden, and we've been builders our whole lives. We've built houses, developments. We just sold a development last year, and how do you get there? How do you make that jump? What are the networks you have to have? What are the connections? How do you meet these people? And most importantly, when you're trying to assess risk, who is taking that risk with you? Are you a multimillionaire, Don? Are you funding all of this yourself?
Some people do consider Don Taylor a wealthy man, but that's
Well done. Well done.
yeah, yeah. So for those of you that know, if you know, you know. So right, how do you go from southeastern Wisconsin and go internationally? I was at a great mastermind this past week, and one of the things we talked about are the wow and the how people. The wow people versus the how people. And Matt, you and I both are wow people. And I describe it, you'll say a lot of times, hey, we jump out of the airplane and we pack that parachute down. I just say, hey, let's build the boat and throw it in the water. And you're going to find the biggest holes and you're going to work on getting those patched up first. And you may end up with a boat that has some holes in it and you're taking on a little bit of water. But you know what? We're getting to that island. We're getting to that destination where we want to go. If we kept that boat on the beach and we looked at every single how and what if and every possible scenario of a hole that's going to leak, we're never going to leave that shore to go and get to what we want to, our destination. So I'd rather get in a holy boat and take that chance of sinking and have forward progress than sitting back and wishing or hoping what might have been or what could be. So going to Mexico was we're on a mainland and I don't have that expensive island pricing of things. And it's just a place that's consistently warm. It doesn't matter if I go there in January or March or April, like there's not this chance of it being cold for me anyways. So I found a place that I like to go vacation to. And that was my driving force to start investing there. Where we're at, it's very safe. Police presence is amazing. And tourism is a really big thing. And the actual investment opportunity is truly unlike other areas of the world. But no, we don't fund these things ourselves. We leverage other people's money. And anybody that you talk to that's successful in real estate is leveraging other people's money. So we do that through investors, and our investors make a great return. So Matt, you probably field those calls more than anybody, just because that's your part of our business. So how does that look on people constantly harassing you to actually take and use their money? Because I think a lot of people that are in or want to be in real estate investing, that's their number one stopping point. I don't have money. I don't have funding.
It is the fuel that makes the car go, man. We've taken these steps, one baby step at a time, right? And it's connections, it's people you meet, it's opportunities. You're on vacation here, you meet this person, and that's all those conversations. We didn't set out to say, man, let's go build in another country. That was never on the vision board. That was never part of what we put forward, right? But the only reason we're able
Well,
to do that, the same reason that we do it in our business every day, is that we had partners that we have developed long-term relationships with that said they didn't look and try to mitigate risk by running market studies and doing all of their due diligence in another country. No, they trust us because that's the record that they have is with us. So they're really investing in us is really what it comes down to. Yes, there's an asset. Yes, there's capital expenses, operating expenses. We know the drill, we get it. But in the end, we have built a firm foundation of people who trust us and we use their money well and they always get it back. And it's the same thing here. When you start in this business, there's always steps in everything, right? You're afraid to pick up the phone to make a cold call. You're afraid to answer the phone when your first lead calls you, right? You're afraid to go talk to a title company or let alone try to sit down and ask for money for the first time. These are horrible, pain points that you experience. So no, it doesn't come easy. Man, if it was, everybody would do it, right? But it's just what we've built over time that has allowed us to get this far and to do these things. So when we go to our lenders now and say, hey, we're doing this project, they are the backbone of what we do. We can't go fast without fuel, without the investors that we have.
we get a lot of people come into our office, call us, email us, text us, asking, I literally had someone reach out today and said, hey, I want to start flipping. What app do I start using? And I'm like, well, what do you mean what app? Like, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking for. And so he's like, well, hey, how do I go into a house and know what it's going to cost to rehab it and make sure that I got all my expenses covered? And, of course I'm like, all right, Rehab Estimator Pro, it's not an app. It's a web-based product, but it walks you through step by step. You can click these things. So my hope is that people watching this can look at whatever spot that they're stuck in and sitting in paralysis of analysis or in the fear. Those are the how people, right? You have the wow people that are just jumping in and doing it and don't really care about the steps and the processes. They're going to figure it out along the way. The how people, they want to ask questions and ask us like, hey, well, so how do you do this? And what about this? And what about that? And again, a lot of people, the key how is How do I financially do this? And I always tell people the money's the easiest part. Finding the deal is the hard part. And I'm hoping that people look at us and say, you know what? Working in southeastern Wisconsin, that's a comfort zone. But when you expand to literally the other side of the world and across international borders, there's a lot of fear and a lot of unknowns that go along with that. Now, you and I think just so happened that we ended up being successful in that. And have there been stumbling blocks along the way? Absolutely. I'm here to help others. I want to be able to help others. If you want to invest, and is it for everybody? No, it's not. But for those that are looking for something different, for some diversity in their portfolios, that they already have real estate and maybe they have single family or multifamily, rentals here. Maybe they have Airbnbs already in Florida. So there's a lot of options that we have here that you also have there as well. So ask questions and make the decision to do something, to have action. So far it's been good. Like, I don't have anything bad to report, other than, again, just cultural differences, and things take a little bit longer. And I know you experience that too. Like, things that we think should be done in an hour or 4 hours or 2 days, that does not exist. It's a whole different world of things. So how is that for you over there, Matt?
Well, I have a saying now that I just throw my hands up and I don't get frustrated. I just say, well, this is Asia. It's how it goes. It's how it is here. And it is, yes, all over the world, experience stuff like that. But yeah, it took a solid 2 months to get a bank account. And I thought, what is going on? I've never once had anyone tell me in my life my signature doesn't match. I will
Right.
write my signature 10 times right now on this piece of paper, and I'm gonna be the first one to give you the information and tell you none of them will match. So there, you're right.
Yeah.
I have a notary. I have a global notary on here. Like, this isn't hard. And long story short, this is what I find out. After much arguing and signing it in front of them in person, signing the piece of paper, bringing it back to a manager only to be told once again, sorry, the signatures don't match. I finally said, "Okay, look it. Don and I are solutions guys, okay? I'm not playing your game anymore. So we need to find a solution. And I'm going to come up with it first, and you tell me if this is acceptable because you clearly are not offering any solutions." So I said, "I'm just going to print my name here, okay?" So I printed my name on the new signature card. And then I printed my name again on the applications. And the manager came back and said, "Yep, sounds good." And I said, "So what was the so I can use a different signature. I'm just printing my name." And he then tells me, "Well, yeah, everyone has a banking signature here. It's just different." So that's the conclusion of how things work here. So now you multiply that times logistics, forming a foreign direct investment policy with the ministry, which is the government, and having a partner that you have attorneys, you have CPAs. We're doing all of the work that needs to be done, and that's before you even get a shovel in the ground, right? So yes, there are all
Right.
those things that nobody's going to tell you. Okay, but we figure them out as we go. We knock them down as we go. It just takes longer in other places because this is really what comes from all of this is, yes, we are always seeking capital. It is always calculated and it is always something, man, our track record in the last 10 to 12 years, I got to put a number on that one of these days. We have never failed with our lenders, and that is the record that we bring to the table to introduce projects like this. So, but we do have a very serious set of steps that we follow. We like to follow SEC rules. We don't use SEC certified investors. You don't have to be qualified and labeled as an actual investor, but we use people. That you would just completely unassuming that you have no idea what they actually have in assets, in liquid cash, just and those are the people that we attract.
So your particular development there, you're looking for investors, right? But you're looking for investors that won't be owning property, right? You're looking for investors that are truly just that. They're an investor that's getting a return back on their money, correct?
100%. So on this particular project, we set out to say, hey, look, let's do this. Let's finish it. Let's get it operational, be profitable, successful. Then we'll turn our attention to another project. And with that, that's when we can open it up, right? Like, let's show the success in Mexico, Don. Let's show the success in Maldives. Let's show that we can do this successfully, operate. Here's our balance sheet. Here's our P&Ls. This is how we operate. Here's how our investors get paid back. And then we can turn our attention towards, hey, let's get some equity partners in here that are going to share in revenues.
Right.
And that is and those models are great, especially when you get into, vacation destinations where it's seasonal, because now your investors are riding the highs and lows with you, because those shares, it's not just a straight line as a debt project that we're doing with just that direct placement into the actual asset itself, where we are paying back. We do need to gain trust with this new direction that we've taken. And once we have this, I think, you know how it goes, man. Once people see it, they want to be a part of it. And I'll tell you what, when you talked about this, Don, when you tell people about this, and when I tell people, hey, this is what I would like to do, um, or the way we usually say it, this is what I'm going to do, right? That's your how and wows, right? So when we do that, yes, you will have most, even in the world that has the cash, right? Even the investor world, even those, you've got the wows and the hows there too. I need those wow people to help us get started. But once you actually have 6 floors, like you said, Bill, once people see that third slab in the air, and I can take a picture from the top of the palm trees, guess what? They come running to the table then. Hey, I'd like to do that now. I'm really interested in that now. You start to attract that because the risk seems mitigated for them now.
Yeah, so that's the big thing in Mexico. So they pre-sell a bunch of units on a building. Well, those units you're able to get at like pennies on a dollar kind of thing. I mean, massive, massive discounts because there's nothing there. And why people are fearful of that is because there's nothing there. They can't envision it. They don't even want to take that risk. And then it's this idea of Americans or Canadians, and we're sending our money internationally and wiring it with no chance of getting it back to this person that we don't know who is in Mexico. So there's a lot of hesitation that comes from that. But then once that building starts getting built, all of a sudden those prices start creeping up a little
Mhm,
bit. When that building is completed, those prices are through the roof in comparison to what they were at that beginning stage of that pre-build, right?
mhm.
My hope is to bridge that gap a little bit and to bring comfort to those that are ready and wanting to invest to be able to get in at that pre-construction because and you trust us, me, Matt, and those are the things that give us more credibility and more trust to be able to recognize those benefits in the value of that unit not being built and getting in at a price that is completely doable. And even if you didn't want to live in a unit or even keep the unit, you're just like, you know what? Once that unit's built, I'm going to put it on a market and I'm going to sell it and realize those gains for yourself. That's totally doable too. That is a strategy that some Americans do. So those are the things that I'm hoping that we can kind of educate people on and get some of our investors and people that want to make better return than what they're making here, and get them over there to do that very thing. So we're going to definitely continue to grow in all of that. But I just love the opportunities. And again, it's a great spot to go on vacation. You're a great spot to go vacation. So what better asset to have that you're able to go check in on or work at and that you own.
That's what we do. We're inviting our lenders to participate with us, but this was way too big on this, first run to say, "Hey, yeah, I'm hoping it goes well. I hope this guy I met actually completes it." No, on this rodeo here, I decided to say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna go live there while this is being built and manage it so that your money is safe, because I will be not only on the sending end with my staff. I will be on the receiving end, and I will also be on all of the end where all the construction is happening and everything's being ordered from China and all the logistics that have to happen in order to get things. So that is how far we were willing to go in order to make this a success and gain the trust of those that are already participating in our circle.
You're there because it would not be feasible for you to do that trip every single month.
Yeah.
Just in your health and finances. I mean, that'd be crazy. So Mexico, for me, it's why I'm still here. I'm not in Mexico overseeing anything in person, is because I can jump on a plane and 3.5 hours later be touching down. And I could literally go there and come back all in the
You
same
could have a
day.
lunch meeting.
Right, right.
Well, if anything you've heard today piques your interest, whether it was, uh, man, we covered a lot of different aspects with real estate, but really, I think the main theme was, jumping in, remove some of those barriers of fear that you have. Have that bigger vision and know that it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just come. It takes years to achieve that. But man, remove some of those barriers of fear that you have implanted. And if you want to contact us and learn more about anything you've heard, not just the international projects, but how to get started and how to maintain and how to keep the hustle going, then yeah, hit the link below. Find us on our website, sellfastwithus.com. Leave us a direct message. Leave an inquiry on the website. If you want to find us, you will.